Welcome to another episode of The Brand Called You, a podcast and podcast show that brings you leadership lessons, knowledge, experience, and wisdom from thousands of successful individuals from around the world. I'm your host, Ashutosh Garg, and today I'm delighted and privileged to welcome a very senior professional from the world of insurance, Mr. KK Srinivasan. Mr. Srinivasan, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me on your show.
Thank you. Mr. Srinivasan is the former whole-time member of the Board of Insurance, Regulatory and Development Authority of India. He's the former Chief Executive Officer of the Tariff Advisory Committee. So, sir, before we get into talking insurance, tell me a little bit about your own journey in brief.
Well, I had my education mostly in Delhi.
Mm-hmm.
I passed out of a government-aided school, then called as a Madrasi school.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stood first in the then what is called as the higher secondary examination, or now it's called as plus 2. I topped in the commerce group, and I joined the Shriram College of Commerce for my BCom honors course. Thereafter, I responded to an advertisement by a recruitment head agency of Tata's called Zoom Services. And then I was selected as a direct recruit officer by Zoom Services and allotted to the New India Assurance Company Limited, which was a part of the Tata Group at that time. And J.R.D. Tata was our vice chairman. Naval Tata was our chairman. And I had the privilege of having a glimpse of them in the first floor of our head office building at 87, classic building at 87 Mahatma Gandhi Road. And then 71, I got nationalized when the industry got nationalized. And that's it. And, I traveled all over the world, including to Japan. I've traveled to all the continents except Antarctic.
Fabulous. And as they say, the rest is history. So we'll talk about insurance. Okay. So for a lot of my young viewers and listeners, what are some of the basic segments of insurance that every common human being should be aware of?
Look, it's very simple. Insurance is not rocket science. There are basically, if I may say, 3 core segments. One is the life. The other is the non-life, otherwise known as the property and casualty and liability. And the third one is the health segment.
Okay.
On the top of that is what is called as the reinsurance, which is nothing but insurance of insurance companies.
Okay. And, you spent a lot of time and you were a whole-time board member of the Insurance Regulatory Development Authority of India. What is the role of the IRDAI?
Well, I won't go into the entire act. I'll tell you briefly because the act beautifully sums it up in the preamble as the 2 twin objectives of IRDAI. Number 1, protection of policy holders' interests and orderly growth of the industry.
Okay.
The rest are all, to my mind, subservient to the 2 primary goals of the IRDAI Act.
Very interesting. And, for a long time, and I'm also of a similar vintage like you, insurance was either seen as a tax saving or it was seen to protect assets. It has started to change over the last few decades. What percentage of Indians are covered by insurance, and how is this changing?
If you are looking for a straightforward answer to that, that probably is a little difficult. But yes, particularly in the last decade, And in the last 4 or 5 years' time, there have been dramatic changes. You know, the insurance has gone through a whole history. It was in the private sector when I joined. The life was in the private sector before 1956. Then it became a government sector. The non-life became a government sector. In 2000, the market again got opened.
Yes.
So again, slowly and steadily, the new players have come into the market. So 2000 saw the new horizon of insurance sector, right? So we don't have that many players now, like 106 players in non-life and something like 125 in life. And some point of time, it became such a big mess. So the government had to consolidate and nationalize.
Right.
Okay, fine. Now, what has happened is technology and the government. If you ask me, the two important things which has happened is the technology and the government. Probably the government realized that the commercial insurance companies are not able to reach the common man as they are, because they are basically commercial entities. So a whole lot of government aided schemes have come, primarily in life, in health, and in the what is called as a personal accident. And today what has happened is, because of this, thanks to this, nearly 50% of the population is expected or is reportedly has some form of insurance or the other.
Fantastic.
That's the greatest thing which has happened. Maybe that has come out of the what is called as your individual identity card, your Aadhaar, and the technology put together, and the government coming in a big way.
So I'm sure you're not talking of the Ayushman Bharat scheme.
Ayushman Bharat and other schemes, you know,
so
which are the PM as the, you know.
Given your vast experience, sir, please tell us a little bit about the Ayushman Bharat and other schemes that are supposed to be covering 50 crore people. And how will this benefit the common person?
First, you know, primarily it is supposed to benefit the common man, particularly those below the poverty line, which the commercial insurances are probably not able to reach, because for the common man, he doesn't know where his next bread is coming from. So where will he go for insurance? So probably that's what it is. But talking about Ayushman Bharat, let me just refresh myself with the, you know, with what I have gathered from various sources. Just give me a few minutes. You know, this is Ayushman Bharat is a game changer in my perception. And when it succeeds, our country will be a different country.
Right.
So that's my whole perception of Ayushman Bharat. And I had said it in international fora.
Yeah.
And many of them also said, we have not seen something like this anywhere in the world. That is, you know, the Ayushman Bharat is an attempt to provide comprehensive range of health services, preventive, you know, promotive, and cosmetic, rehabilitative, and palliative. Okay, now what happens is in commercial insurance, basically it is for treatment, post complication treatment or post illness treatment. Ayushman Bharat has tried to bring in the preventive part of it, right? Of course, in commercial insurances also do some what is called as you know, tests, periodical tests, free tests after you run through commercial insurance as a couple of renewals. They give you as a freebie, but Ayushman Bharat has built it into it. Now there are two components of Ayushman Bharat. First is the primary health care through some 150,000 health centers which they are building or all over India. The second one is the what you may call as insurance, which is called as the PMJ. Okay, right. Which gives a cover of 10 crore per year to the poor and the vulnerable families. Right? And that is for secondary or tertiary care. So the primary care is provided by the health center, and the tertiary care comes by way of an insurance called as a PMJ, which is subsidized by the government. Well, I want, it covers the whole gamut.
I agree.
Communicable, eye, ENT, heart, etc., etc.
I understand.
Yeah.
I understand.
And it's been just about 4 years now. It's not, the world talked about the health for all. Alma Ata, now it's called as Almaty, convention. We said health for all by 2000. 2000 came and went. 2010 came and went. 2020 has also gone. Health for all has not happened.
Correct.
But I have, optimism that as far as India is concerned, Ayushman Bharat can do it.
Well said. Well said. And now health for all is a part of the 17 SDGs of the United Nations by 2030. And I'm hoping we will be.
I think we should, with Ayushman Bharat, we should reach there faster than 2030.
I agree with you.
Yeah. My full good wishes are with that scheme.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Moving on, sir. Now, in the past 2 decades, the insurance ecosystem has undergone significant change. And as you very rightly said, the private sector has come in. More recently, digital has been a big disruptor. What key changes have you observed in the industry, especially in the way insurance companies conduct their business?
Online. We never heard of online business earlier. It's most of the companies have switched on to the online mode. Even the intermediaries have switched on to online. The aggregators have switched on to online. Right? So that is what the technology has done. And I suppose one thing that the technology has enabled is reducing the cost of operations. Whether that has happened is another question which I will answer if you ask that question.
No, I'll ask you. Please answer.
Now, see, if you must understand the fundamentals of insurance. To me, the fundamental is very simple. What do the insurance companies do? I'm going into commercial insurance.
Sure.
What do the insurance company do? They basically manage the risk pool fund of the policyholders. If you go to our antique Act, the 1938 Act, and the regulations and the rules, they called it, built along with that, they had deliberately put caps on the expenses of management, caps on commission, and things like that, so that the entire fund was available to the policyholders.
Right.
And they had also said that you dare not invest the policyholders' money in junk investments. You will put it in approved and other securities, so that the funds of. What has happened is the technology which can enable the cost to be reduced. If you ask me whether it has happened, I have to be a little disappointed in saying no, it has not happened.
Okay.
Why it has not happened is insurance companies which are supposed to conduct themselves at minimal cost, the costs are simply splurging. The executive salaries of are in par with, let's say, IT sector, which is supposed to be the highest.
Yeah.
And the expenses of management have all gone up. I can understand the expenses on setting up a computer system and things like that. And the intermediary payments have become crazy. Now you pay 20%, 25% to a broker and an agent. You pay 25% on yourself on your salaries, which means only 50% is left for you to take care of the policyholders.
Correct.
So what happens is, when that kind of expenditure takes place, when your genuine losses of on the policies come, you may not have enough money to pay. So what you do is you increase the premiums. So ultimately, the price that the policy holder has been paying has been skyrocketing.
Wow.
And the growth that you see largely in terms of premium incomes from 10,000 crores to 20,000 crores to 250,000 crores or whatever, a large part of it is because of the absolute increases in the price that the poor policy holder has to pay. Please don't mistake me.
No, not at all. I mean, we're having an absolutely open discussion. And this is therefore what you're saying is the number of people being insured is not going up so quickly. Except in the last 4 years, because of the government scheme, it's made a fantastic. See, it's good. The welfare government has to take care of the people. That's good. But commercial insurances, they have to, also have try to reduce the expenses. Yeah. Try to, for example, if you take the mutual fund, for example, the intermediary payments are a fraction, 1%, 2%, and here you pay 25%. Correct. To me, it sounds very crazy, sir. I don't know. I agree with you. But also tell me, sir, in any kind of business, there are always two parts. One is the insurance company and the other is the customer, the person who wants to get insured. Based on your, again, vast experience, what role has customer behavior played in getting insurance companies to start changing? Within the parameters that are available to him, today the customer can go to what is called as shopping into the various companies or through the various aggregators and try to find out which is the most economical cover available to him and at the prices and what offers him the comprehensive cover. Right? That the educated, aware customer is enabled. There are enough tools available to him to try and minimize his expenses. But that is subject to, if the premiums have gone up by 500% and you are able to do the shopping and reduce it by 10%, I don't know what's the benefit they're getting. But anyway, yes, the behavior has changed. The computer savvy, customers are able to do it online, or able to shop online, find out comparisons, right? So, wonderful. That's happened. Wonderful. Yeah. Wonderful. So I have time for two more questions. My next question is, again, drawing upon your vast global experience. And I wanted to ask you, how have Indian insurance companies performed as compared to their global counterparts? I would say that there are positives there. When we opened up in 2000, we were not sure how many players will come in. Okay. The players will come in only when they see income and profit here. And a lot of players have come in. Today, we have got almost 50 plus in life and 50 plus in non-life. So that they are able to see comparative advantages here is a proof enough that this market is flourishing. This market, after opening up, is flourishing, even for the investors. Maybe because this is the investment income in this country, the interest income and the investment income are fairly high. If you go to many of the Western countries, the average interest, that yield is around 2.5%, 3%. Here, it's even in a small savings bank account, you get that. So the income yields are much
better here. So I would say that the opening of the market has been a positive. It brought technology, it got international players, it also got international experiences coming into this country, and ours is probably one of the market which is continuing to grow because the potential is yet to be mined. We have not reached even the 10% mark in terms of penetration.
Very interesting. And my last question to you, sir, and this is for the many, many people who will watch our conversation. Based on your own amazing journey through life and through leading so many of the insurance initiatives of our country, what would you say are 3 lessons you would want our viewers and listeners to take away from your learnings and from your own journey?
See, I suppose that there are some Gen Next in your audience.
Yeah, a lot of them.
And it is a Gen Next with whom I'd like to share my experience. Of course, let me go back to what I have. These are all when you the memory is not as
not
good
at all.
As,
not at all.
You know what I did to improve my memory during the COVID time?
So we'll come to your memory later. Can we talk about your 3 lessons?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay. One is for the younger. This comes out of our experiential learning. And some of the lessons we learned the hard way.
Yeah.
Number 1 is be honest with yourself.
Yeah.
You owe it to you.
Yeah.
More than you owe it to anybody else.
Yeah.
And number 2, be in a continuous learning mode.
Yeah.
Because things are changing very fast. And if you are not a continuous learner, you will be left behind. Number 3, don't look back.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
At the age of 73 or 72, during the COVID time, I enrolled and passed my LLB examination.
Wonderful.
To keep my memory, because when you prepare for an examination, your memory improves.
Well, you're not much older. You're not much older than me. I'm 66. So
I'm 73. Okay.
So, but on that note, and your 3 wonderful lessons: be honest with yourself, be a continuous learner, a lifelong learner, and never look back. And also, I would say you're saying learn from your mistakes. Thank you, Mr. Srinivasan, for speaking to me about your own journey. Thank you for talking to me about insurance and all the amazing aspects of insurance that you have spoken about. Thank you also for talking to me about some of your own lessons and your own journey. Thank you again for speaking to me, and good luck.
Thank you for giving me this wonderful opportunity to be of some. It's a payback period for me to pay back something back to the next Gen Next. And I hope they find some of these.
I'm sure they will. I'm sure they will. Thank you again. Thank you for listening to the Brand Called You videocast and podcast, a platform that brings you knowledge, experience, and wisdom of hundreds of successful individuals from around the world. Do visit our website www.tbcy.in to watch and listen to the stories of many more individuals. You can also follow us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Just search for the Brand Called You.